What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Justice Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, and Uncle Cuz, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic, Forgotten Titles 3. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, and check out exclusive content on Daily Motion at Our Wrestling Podcast. And on social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. I didn't think that there was enough Forgotten Titles to do this many EPs, Jess, but this is fun. I do enjoy these. I just hope none of them are new and recent, like in some places.
Surprise, 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 surprise. I thought this was part 4, and then I went back in our archives, and I was like, okay, I know we did 3 parts of this.
I thought this was Forgotten Titties.
And then, like...
Title, tomato.
Here we are, part 3, and I only put 3 titles, so it's going to be short and tight. We're going to keep it tight.
I like it. Tight. I would say
45 minutes later, after all these titty jokes.
three titties. Like it's the...
Raging on.
Well, we'll just jump right in. These are WWF Women Tag Team titles. What?
How do you... Okay, come on, man.
Did I get the wrong one? Oh, my God.
No, you're right.
The WWF Tag Team Championship was a women's professional wrestling tag team title for the World Wrestling Federation. In 1983, the team of Velvet McIntyre and Princess Victoria joined the World Wrestling Federation.
Already in the ring.
Now WWE, as the reigning NWA World Women's Tag Team Champions. The WWF had since withdrawn from the National Wrestling Alliance, or NWA, and the rights to the championship were owned by the fabulous Mula, because of course it was. She owned everything that was female. She's terrible.
Give me those titles. You know those titles are mine, hun.
Yeah, probably.
So the WWF in turn bought those rights from of the championship from Moolah and recognized McIntyre and Victoria as the first WWF Women's Tag Team Champions. After 6 years, the championship was abandoned in 1989.
Velvet, just take the titles. She's a bitch.
What?
Oh, Velvet, just take the titles then. Moolah's just pissed. Just have Vince make you the first champion then. She's just a bitch, like fucking Moolah.
Oh, I'm the bad guy. I take 95% of your earnings. I'm the bad
and
guy.
I'm-
What would
I'm
you
the
be doing if
terrible
you
one,
weren't
yeah.
wrestling? That's exactly right. I don't know why she's drinking.
She probably was. Like,
Raging alcoholic.
yeah, she probably was. You see the way she looked?
Fuck Moolah.
Yeah, we've just established that she is not a good person. But
He's
anyway.
so fucked up and none of that was true. Like,
I was going to say Craig's ashamed one.
What?
Not Rushmore.
I don't even believe that happened. That never happened.
Oh, yeah.
Never happened. But it's in the archives if you want to go looking for it. It's there.
Going about Velvet McIntyre and
No,
the
you're,
legacy of Velvet
no,
McIntyre?
you're good. No, we don't. We're done with them because after 6 years, the championship was abandoned in '89 with the Glamour Girls, Liliana Kai and Judy Martin as the final champions. This happened largely due to the lack of tag teams in the women's division and the lack of female performers in general. Over the course of the championship's 6-year history, there were 5 reigns between 4 championship teams. During the December 24th, 2018 episode of Monday Night Raw, the WWE Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Vince McMahon announced that a new WWE Women's Tag Team Championship would be introduced in 2019. It does not carry the lineage of the original title because he always wants his own stuff and he's dumb.
Just discontinue the title, Vince. Like, there's not enough women. How come no one wants to work for me?
How come nobody wants history?
I wonder why.
anymore? I don't understand. Well,
I always remember
learn stuff.
when I first started watching wrestling. It was WWF, and I remember in early '88, Craig, you remember this? The Jumping Bomb Angels, a Japanese tag team, came over and they beat the Glamour Girls, and that was like Vince trying to revitalize. Because he also put the world title on Rockin' Robin. She beat Sherry, and Vince for like 5 minutes tried to make it like something, and then like on the 6th minute, he's like, "Fuck this," and then like, "Well, hun, I don't have all the talent." Like it just didn't work out. Like Vince never had a vision for the women wrestlers in the late '80s or whatever. But I remember the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Yeah.
Like,
And even like the Glamour Girls, for as old as dumpy as they were at that time, they could still go. And the Jumping Bomb Angels was unlike anything you'd seen women do. And even kind
They
of,
were way
it was
ahead of
before
their
the
time.
cruiserweights. It was before kind of Japanese wrestling kind of came. they had some really great feuds.
All joking aside, we did get some gems, even though Vince was half-assed trying with the women's division at times. We would get gems like that, and the Jumping Bomb Angels and the Glamour Girls like stuck in my head. And Jimmy Hart was the manager of the Glamour Girls too. Come on, baby.
I don't want to defend VCAM in any way ever for the rest of my life. But
Come on, Dave.
It was very hard for talent-wise, for women in the 80s. It was just, to your point, there just wasn't much there. So, but I would argue that it's kind of just silly that he doesn't want to continue the lineage when he brings back world titles. He could have easily done that.
Blah blah.
He just never cared about that stuff. He always wanted to be new and fresh.
Shut up, Dave. I'm never going anywhere. Blah blah.
I think that's the biggest difference between him and Triple H, though, is that Triple H really cares about the lineage of stuff. And
yeah.
Wait a minute, they're both going up to the top. What's going to happen here? Double drop kick. Referee's back was turned. This could be it. Yes! I dispute that. New tag team champion. Number one, McMahon, that was an illegal double team. Number two, she hooked Judy Martin's arm and raised her shoulder off the mat. There should not have been a 3 count. This place is electric.
The winners of this bout and new World Wrestling Federation Women's Tag Team Champions, the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Let's get into the WCW Hardcore Championship. So the World Championship Wrestling Hardcore Championship was the title in WCW. It was defended in hardcore matches in which there were few rules and restrictions, and weapons were always allowed. The WCW Hardcore title was a continuation from the WCW Hardcore Trophy that Fit Finlay won in the Junkyard Battle Royal that took place in 1999. Bash of the Beach pay-per-view there. Shortly after the pay-per-view, the trophy was seized by Bischoff and removed from television. Afterwards, Norman Smiley was crowned the first official WCW Hardcore champion. The final Hardcore champion in WCW was Ming, who defeated Crowbar. These names are amazing, aren't they? And reigning champ Terry Funk and WCW Sin on January 14, 2001.
So, of the 2000 WCW era, one of my favorite things was screaming Norman Smiley. Mm-hmm. And if you don't go back, he
was great, dude.
Oh my God. He just, there was one segment where he went, ah! And he screamed like that, and then it caught on, and then they did it. And so he had a match against Terry Funk one time. And so this unique part about this match was it starts out in the ring, and Funk starts beating the shit out of him, and then Norman powders to the back, so the cameras follow him. And then it became a game of hide and seek, which is one of my favorite fucking memories of Norman Smiley and Terry Funk. So Terry Funk starts coming in he comes in the men's bathroom, and he starts kicking the walls like, Norman! And you don't hear anything, and he punches one stall open, and he goes, Norman! And then you hear, ah! From the back stall, and he fucking runs to the back and beats the shit out of him in the stall, and it was hilarious. Fucking pure comedy. It was just fucking great.
Norman Smiley was great.
It was a dying company, but man, there were some bright spots.
I'm so glad he's in NXT, well, as a coach, that he has a job, with the big leagues still. I love it.
That's cool. Speaking of Smiley, though, he held the record for the longest official reign with this title, 51 days.
Good for him.
The shortest reign was that of Carl Ouellet, am I saying that right? Who was awarded the title after Lance Storm gave it up, but lost it 38 minutes later to Norman Smiley. Brian Knobbs and Funk hold the record for most reigns with 3 each. Smiley holds the record for most cumulative days as champion. The title belt was handed over formally to the WWF upon purchase of WCW. That title is now displayed in headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Jess has a nice picture here.
But they've moved out of Stamford, right? So I don't know where it is now. Didn't Stanford shut down?
Probably moved it? Probably in Vince's closet somewhere.
I think their new building is still in Stamford. It's just
a
place.
They never tried to run the lineage of that over. They just fucking retired the title, which is kind of cool.
He opened the elevator. There's a fight in the elevator. This is a first in WC. And the elevator closed.
Up or down? Where are they going? Who knows?
Oh my. Oh. He hit the wrong guy. The door opened. Jimmy Hart hit Knobbs in a cover. And Norman Smiley wins. No.
And also, though, didn't we already kind of have a hardcore title? I mean, in a sense.
Well, you're going to get to it. Yes, I think WWF was first. It had to have been.
It was.
Had to, because it was early. It was. I thought it was early 90s. Is it not? Well, not early 90s, like mid. But it was like
no, it was late 90s. You'll get to it here. That's why I had both of them. I had the WCW one.
Perfect.
And I remember Brian Knobs held it for a while in WCW. Like
he did.
It was just enacted because I think they brought it in when they really purged ECW, and they brought Sandman over. Raven had already been there, but they brought Sandman over and a couple other people, and Bigelow had been in ECW for a bit, and I think they pulled it over to kind of like satiate those guys, and it just fucking didn't do anything for them, but they had a hardcore championship.
This one feels forgotten, but not sometimes, because I had a lot of fun with the hardcore championship. So that WWE or F hardcore championship was the professional wrestling championship contested for WWF, WWE. The title was only contestable in matches under hardcore regulations and could be won only by individual wrestlers. As a professional wrestling championship, it was introduced by the WWF on its television program Raw is War on November 2nd of 98. That's where WWF chairman Mr. McMahon awarded Mankind that title.
Stuart, I have it for you. This is the WWF Hardcore Championship belt, and Mick, you've earned it.
I love it.
You've earned it.
I gotta be honest with you, I love it.
Just one thing. In some respects, I think I lost a son tonight, but maybe I gained another one.
Really?
In 2000, the WWF instated the 24/7 rule. This is where it got a lot of fun, I think. I think we all agree. A regulation that stated the title could be defended anywhere, anytime, as long as the referee was present.
Hardcore?
And led to numerous title changes in shorter time periods. That rule was discontinued in 2002 when we all protested it. People were losing it in their sleep. It's hilarious. I mean,
they were finding each other in hotels.
Crash Holly, where were they at? Like a Chuck, like kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese place,
golf carts
with the balls and the pin the ball pin or whatever. Crash Holly and was it Crash Holly and Al Snow? I forgot who it was. But yeah, great memories.
I'm just reading ahead here. So this stuff is hilarious. On the August 26th episode 2002 of Raw, the IC title holder Rob Van Dam defeated Hardcore champion Tommy Dreamer to unify both those titles. The Hardcore Championship was retired shortly after that. Over the course of the title's 3-year, 9-month, and 25-day history, there were 230 title reigns shared amongst 52 wrestlers. That's awesome. I don't know why. That is so cool. Raven has the most reigns as champion with 26 of them. Big Boss Man's 4th reign was the longest in titles history at 97 days. That's crazy. So he held it for almost a third of the time.
One of the greatest triple threat matches was
not a third of the time. Sorry,
WrestleMania 17
because it was 3 years.
Kane, Big Show, and Raven. One of the greatest triple
threat. Dude, I'll never forget that. He threw him through a fucking window.
Dude, it's God.
Like Kane put a rubber hose around Raven's neck and flung him like through a window.
Dude,
so good.
Oh, that match is so awesome.
And then the golf cart, Raven
it's just chaos.
Cart.
It's like nonstop chaos from start to end is what's great about it.
I think there was one pay-per-view, Jess, you could probably name it, where there was like 7 or such title changes for that hardcore title in between segments.
I think it was at WrestleMania.
I think you're right.
I don't remember.
I think it was at it was WrestleMania 2000, and then I think they had it again like that at WrestleMania 18. I could be wrong. Like
it was 2000. It was this one, right? The one behind me, where Guerrero defends his title.
No, that was 04. It was WrestleMania 2000. I think.
2000. Okay, this is 04.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I think I could be wrong. It could be WrestleMania 18. Actually, now that I think about it, it's where they had like a bunch of changes. But I want to say Taz was
because
it was WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 2000 was a whole bunch.
Yeah. Because they fucked the ending up, and didn't Bob Holly took a fucking a glass candy dish, $90, Ned, and he smashed it over like someone. I think he smashed it over Ned's head. He smashed it over Taz's head or something like that. I remember a glass candy dish they smashed.
That's hilarious. Steve Blackman ranks first in combined reigns by length with 172 days and 6 reigns. Blackman also held the record for the longest title reign under the 24/7 rule at 89 days, which is second longest overall.
We all know that if it was real, Blackman would beat everybody.
Yeah, like seriously.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy was an animal. Due to the 24/7 rule, numerous wrestlers held the title less than 1 day, and because of the exact times at which each wrestler held the title is unknown, it's impossible to determine who had the shortest reign. Each reign was won at WWE promoted events, pay-per-view events, house shows, and even on televised events. So that was really fun. It couldn't go on forever, but I think this was a really great way. And this is where it gets hard for wrestlers today. Like you watch Raw on Netflix now, and you're only seeing probably 6 or 7 wrestlers, maybe 10 with promos. You're not seeing the roster as much. This was a great way to get the whole roster involved when they didn't have a match booked. Almost everybody had something at WrestleMania, like you said, in this particular 2000 set. There were so many people in the mid card that could do something because of this hardcore 24/7 rule, and I think that was a lot of fun. And it really helped bring, if you had a favorite wrestler that wasn't as well known, this was a good way to see them, at least for a moment. And I kind of miss it, actually.
I do too.
Well, I think, and then later on, the 24/7 title, I think, was sort of an homage to the hardcore title.
There were some funny moments. There were some funny moments.
There was, yeah.
When R-Truth pinned Jinder, he was sleeping on the plane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Love that.
Oh my god, so fucking funny.
Question for you, Jess, on this picture. I don't know if you're going to bring it up that you have on for the notes. That looks like the title that Mr. Perfect broke up with a hammer. I don't know if
so. The rumor was it is the Winged Eagle,
right?
But everybody assumes they never spoke about it. But the first thing I thought when I first saw it when it debuted in '98, I was like, that'd be really fucking cool if they mentioned that that's the belt that Mr. Perfect trashed, on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, that's like a cool little lore, little.
Yeah, they never. That is true. Yeah, that is the lore that people say that.
Easter
but
egg.
I was like, they never said it. They never said that that's what it was.
That would be.
Yeah, it was the Winged Eagle smashed with duct tape across it saying "Hardcore Champion."
Yeah,
the actual. Yeah,
and that was always the one. I was trying to think. Did they ever make it a better belt than that?
I don't believe they did. No, I think that was always the only one. So it was a smashed Winged Eagle. So the Winged Eagle really never left us for a while. It stayed around. All the way till
in some way.
Yeah. That's fucking. I didn't know they were putting that lore behind that. It was the one Mr. Perfect. Fucking. That's a cool little I
think fans do it, but
some fans have done it. Nobody said it on WWF television, but I thought that as a fan when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that'd be so funny if they say that's a smashed Winged Eagle that Mr. Perfect broke, but they never did.
I bet that's what the intent. It's don't mention it, but that's.
Well, again, I think that's a thing that Vince has learned to do.
And they should have, because Mr. Perfect came back in 2002 before they discontinued it. Mr. Perfect should have won it and should have looked at it and went finally.
Yeah,
and got
that would have been awesome.
That would have been great, actually. That would full circle right there. That would have been damn.
Yeah, just fucking wrap it up like a nice little bow. But yeah, I just did 3 titles this time or whatever. Because I don't know if I can squeeze apart 4, but there's a lot of forgotten titles. There has to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the WWF Women's Championship, not that we know now, but yeah, I remember as a kid him just trying to make it work. And the WCW Hardcore was fine. They had some fun matches or whatever because, like I said, they purged ECW. Bischoff did in '99 to try to turn things around in WCW because they had at that point started to fall behind WWF,
right?
And they just. So yeah, I think they were just Bischoff's oh, fine, you like ECW? Well, we'll have a little mini division in WCW of ECW. So we'll get Hack over here, which was Sandman. We'll get a bunch of other Mike Awesome. We'll get everybody else over here,
and then we'll totally not have them be like how they were when they were over there.
Yeah, we'll not have anything be similar at all. And
it's just the narrative.
I remember Bigelow and Nasty Boy Sags doing it all. Knobs, yeah, the blonde hair one. He was a hardcore champion forever. And I just remember them in a bunch of matches. And I remember Funk and Norman Smiley, which I don't think how I could forget that. Just the when he's all Norman, it was like a horror movie, and he was Norman! Just for the back, and he's like, oh, he just runs down and beat the shit out of him.
And I also remember Norman wearing a suit of armor in the ring or something.
Because he was trying to protect himself. Yeah, he was trying not to get hurt because he knew everyone was going to beat the shit out of him.
I think he was wearing hockey pads and
he was wearing hockey gear one time, and then he wore a suit of armor because he was trying to just.
He
kept getting hit and he couldn't get up because the armor was too heavy. He just kept falling down. So fucking great.
Love you, Norman.
Yeah, I love Norman.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, even in a dying company, you get gems sometimes. There was a couple things here and there in WCW in 2000. I was like, all right, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lovely. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Higher Radio. Watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, and check out exclusive content on Daily Motion at Our Wrestling Podcast. And on social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast for. Because Jess, Craig, and myself, this is the O.W.P. signing off.
Oh, Dave, take the women if you want.
Take the title if you want.
Hardcore titty.
For lots of money, I'll give it to you. God.